Chapter 12, Lower of Cost and Net Realizable Value. Yung net realizable value na pakinggan na natin siya sa accounts receivable. The net realizable value of accounts receivable is accounts receivable less allowance for doubtful accounts. Dito sa inventory, yung subsequent measurement niya is lower of cost and net realizable value because sa inventory, syempre, nag-establish din minsan ng allowance for inventory loss, inventory damage. Tingnan natin kung anong ginamit na account title. And then, yung lower of cost naman, yung cost mismo, kasi ito is ibang concept, ito rin ay ibang concept. Sa cost is magkano yung value nung item. Kung cost ay pwede kasi siyang maging magkano natin nabili. Yung isa is magkano na yung value niya as scrap material. So mas mababa siya mismo sa magkano siya natin nabili, nagiging scrap item. Yung halimbawa, meron tayong kotse, nagbebenta tayong kotse ay nabangga, sirang-sira, total wreck, ay di magiging scrap na siya, hihahati-hatiin. Magkano yung cost nun? Bukod pa yung magkano yung net realizable value ng mismong kotseng yun. Dito natin titingnan siya. Measurement of inventory, it should be measured at lower of cost and net realizable value. The measurement of inventory at the lower of cost net realizable value is known as Lcnrv. Matatandaan nyo ng Lcnrv. May mga problem na ang tanong, how do you measure inventory? Yung iba, sagot lang ay cost, choices, net realizable. Pag naalala nyo yung Lcnrv, sure na kayo na dalawa yung choices, cost tsaka NRV. E di eliminated na yung cost lang, eliminated na yung net realizable value. No. Lagay na cost A, B, C, D, cost NRV, L, lower, and C, NRV, higher, C, NRV. So, ang sagot nyo dyan, C agad, kasi matatandaan nyo yung L, C, NRV. Para palang cheer. NRV is the estimated selling price in an ordinary course of business, less the estimated cost of completion and estimated cost of disposal. So, yun pala yun. The cost of inventories may not be recoverable under the following circumstances. Pag damaged, kapag obsolete, yung parang hindi na siya patok sa masa, na parang yung dati na may lumabas kasing product na powder siya. Tapos kapag binanaw mo sa tubig, edi nasa plangganang maliit sa lababo, pwede ka daw doon maglinis ng mga gulay. Safe daw, parang yung powder na binanaw mo will be used to clean that vegetable and fruits. So, parang naman siya, parang aanin pa natin yun, nalilinis naman natin yung gulay at tubig na using running water from the faucet. So, naging obsolete siya, hindi siya pumatok sa masa. Yung inventory, yung excess production nyo na hindi nabenta will become wholly obsolete. Yan. Selling price have declined. Nag-COVID. Before mag-COVID, ang value ng face shield nasa 180 pesos to 100 pesos. Ngayon, nung Parang umabot pa siya ng 50 pesos lang ata. Nung ni-require, di nagtaasan na yung value. Kasi yung mga reseller, since tumaas yung demand, tataas din yung price. And a law of supply and demand. Ay nung ni-require siya, marami ngayon ay bumili sa ibang bansa, nag-import. So, sa ibang bansa kasi, mura lang talaga siya pag kung chinek niya sa Alibaba that time. And then, dumami na yung mga reseller hanggang sa pumatak na nabibili na lang siya ng 10 piso yung face shield. Face mask bang sinabi ko? Face shield, yung face shield. Mabot yung face shield ng halos 10 piso na lang. Nasa Shopee, merong pag-sale, nagiging 6 pesos lang, walang kahon. So, yung selling price niya, nag-decline. So, from 50 pesos, kung magkano ko ba siya binili dati, binili ko siya dati siguro ng 40 pesos. Nung kasagsagan, gusto ko sanang ibenta ng 50 pesos, biglang nag-drop yung price niya sa market, lugi ako. So, yung value ng inventory ko, bababa siya ng, let's say, bababa ko siya ng 20 pesos. Yung 40 minus 20, yung 20 na yon, papasok siya as inventory loss, yung magiging expense na siya. Sa the letter D, the estimated cost of completion or the estimated cost of disposal has increased. Yung sa naman, sa let's say machinery, tapos it turned out na yung machinery is no longer capable of doing what it should be done. At wala ka ng market, wala ka ng ibang buyer or prospective buyer para ma-dispose mo siya. Ngayon, ang gagawin na mo is i-destroy mo na yung machinery. Now, it is required that yung disposal ng machinery, ng iyong inventory, will be conducted in the presence of a BIR examiner. So, pag dinestroy mo siya, at yung BIR examiner sabihin niya, naku, hindi ako makapunta sa location mo. Pwede naman na CPA na lang, kumuha ka na lang ng ibang magtitingin yan. Allowable naman ang CPA na authorized tax agent ng BIR. What will happen is, maghahanap ka pa ng auditor na babayaran mo. So, it will be part ng estimated cost of disposal na para lumaki. Kasi, i-dispose mo na lang siya, babayaran mo lang sana yung mga magdi-demolish. Pero, as required by law, na hindi mo siya made-demolish properly, legally, kung wala kang CPA na magtitingin, meron kang babayaran na CPA. Sa estimated cost of completion, kung meron kang mga building, bayan silang yung services, ang yung inventory, yung ginagawa mong bahay, biglang nagtaas yung presyo ng mga semento, ganyan-ganyan. So, may changes ka rin sa Lcnrv. Sa NRV pala lang. The practice of writing inventories down, ang ibig sabihin ng inventory down is yung value ng inventory is bababa. Mababa kumpara sa cost niya, sa acquisition cost. Below cost to net realizable value is consistent with the view that assets shall not be carried in excess of amounts expected to be realized from their sale or use. Definition of NRV. Inventories are usually written down to net realizable value in an item by item or individual basis. It is not appropriate to write down inventories based on classification of inventory, for example, finished goods, and all inventories in a particular industry or geographical segment. Yan. Ang next naman ay, sorry, minor text. It is not appropriate to write down inventories based on a classification of inventory, for example, finished good, or all inventories in a particular industry or geographical segment. In some circumstances, however, it may be appropriate to group similar or related items. This may be the case with items of inventory relating to the same product line that have similar purposes, are produced and marketed in the same geographical area, and cannot be practically evaluated separately. So, depend case-to-case basis, parang yung grouping para pag-compute ng NRV. Materials held for use in production are not written down below cost if the finished goods in which they will be incorporated are expected to be sold at or above cost. However, when the decline in the price of materials indicated that the cost of the finished goods exceeds net realizable value, the materials are written down to net realizable value. In such circumstances, the replacement cost of materials may be the best evidence of realizable value. Accounting for inventory write-down. If cost is lower than net realizable value, if cost is lower than NRV, there is no accounting problem because the inventory is measured at cost. Ibig sabihin ng measured at cost, kung magkano talaga yung cost, magkano talaga yung value per book. Iba yung net realizable value. Kapag naman baliktad, net realizable value is lower than cost, the inventory is measured at net realizable value and the decrease in value is recognized. Dito ay walang adjusting entry. Dito merong additional adjusting entry. Methods of accounting inventory write-down. So, meron tayong method na direct at saka allowance method katulad ng AR. The inventory, under direct method, the inventory is recorded at lower of cost net realizable or net NRV, Lcnrv. The method is known as cost of goods sold method because any loss on inventory written down or gain or reversal of inventory written down is not accounted for separately but buried in the cost of goods sold. So, pag direct method, lahat ng changes sa inventory kapag ganito, yan. Kapag NRV is lower than cost, papasok yung changes sa cost of goods sold. Sa allowance method, inventory is recorded at cost and any loss on inventory is written down is accounted for separately. Ito yung tinatawag na loss method. Yung isa is cost of goods sold method. Kaya siya loss method kasi nag-establish tayo ng allowance for inventory write-down. Parang, yun nga, loss method, allowance, para maalala nyo agad. Loss on inventory written down. Kumbaga, ikukumpara sa accounts receivable, this is bad debts as expense, this is allowance for bad debts. Ngayon, ang ating loss account or yung expense account is loss on inventory written down. Write down, ito ay allowance for inventory write down. This is loss At hindi siya expense. Expense is encompasses loss and expenses. If the required allowance increases, an additional loss is required. And if the required allowance decreases, again in reversal of inventory write-down is recorded. Additional loss is recognized kapag may allowance ay nag-decrease. Kapag bumaba ang allowance, merong write-down. Merong gain or reversal of inventory write-down. Pero limited lang siya sa allowance na balance. Halimbawa kasi, yung cost mo ay 1,000, 2,000, pero ang NRV mo is 1,500. So, by 2020, yan yung value mo. Nung nag-2021, hindi na lang, by January. Tapos, nung nag-February, ang value niyan ay, so, ang pipiliin mo dyan ay ito. Lalabas na meron kang allowance na 500. Tama. Nung February, 2,000. Tapos na tiningnan mo, 1,400 na lang yung NRV niya. So, yung allowance mo, as of February, ano na lang siya? Lalabas na meron kang loss. Meron kang loss na 100. Okay? Nung March, yung cost mo as is, walang nabago daw. Pero, yung net realizable value mo, naging 1,800. So, magkano ng allowance mo? 200. 2,000 minus 1 ay 200. Meron ka dito ngayong reversal sa iyong reversal on inventory write-down. Kasi, magkano ang allowance mo ngayon? 200 na lang. Pero yung allowance mo dati, 600. By this time, meron kang gain na 400. Tama. To decrease. Because there is a decrease in allowance. Allowance decrease. Ito ay increase. Yan. By April, ang cost mo ay 2,000. Tapos ang NRV mo ngayon, umabot ng 2,100. By this time, magkano na yung allowance mo for inventory write-down? Dapat 0. Hindi mo kukuhanin yung 2,000 minus 100 kasi ang measurement natin is Lcnrv. Dito mas maunti yung NRV. Dito mataas na dito lower na yung cost. Dahil cost na yung mas maliit, wala tayong entry at wala dapat tayong allowances. So, ang lalabas lang na entry natin, wala tayong entry on the cost. Pero, since nag-establish tayo before ng allowances, meron tayong entry to remove the allowance. So, tatanggalin natin yung gain na 400. Tatanggalin lang natin yan sa allowance. Ito. Yun naman yung ibig sabihin ng limited only to the extent of allowance balance. the gain. Itong gain na 200, hindi siya magiging 300 na 21 minus 818 is 300. Hanggang 200 lang. Inventory data. So, illustration. At the end of the period, meron tayong mga, yan. So, tingnan natin ang kanilang values. So, categorically sila in a range. Yan. Cost, so mas malait ang 100, dito 690, dito 600, dito ay 19, 15, 1460, 16. Yan. Kung kayo'y mag-ano sa Excel, formula lang if this value cost is greater than NRV, pag tama ang value ay NRV, kapag mali ang value ay cost. So yan, automatically yan na makukuha natin. 1.5 tama, 1.5, 1.4, 1.8, tapos 2,000. Yun. Yan yung formula task. And then, Lcnrv of individual item, 7,850. Kapag sinabi sa problem na categorically sila inaano ng Lcnrv, so yung titingnan natin is itong nasa subtotal, 1,4, 3,460, tsaka 3,1. Yan. Pag by total naman, so dito tayo sa grand total. Titingnan natin kung anong hinihingi ng problem. Kung item ba siya, item by item, or by category, or by total. Okay, so direct method, income summary. Of course, yung ending ang, pag pinasok na siya, yung ending, papasok, pag pinasok siya sa financial statement, yan, income summary yung kabangga niya. Then, allowance method, syempre yung nag-a-allowance yan, nag-a-allowance. Continuing illustration. Assume that on December 31, the total cost is 8.4 at yung NRV ay 8, yung cost 8.5, NRV ay 8.4. So, pag mababa ang NRV, meron tayong possible na adjustment. Kapag allowance method, syempre. Yan, so merong allowance na 100 pero by 2020 may establish na tayong allowance balance na 150. Hence, ang ating decrease in allowance or gain on reversal is 50,000. Ito, gain on reversal. Yan, ito ay halos computation na. Purchase commitments are obligation of the entity to acquire certain goods sometimes in the future or at a fixed price and fixed quantity. Actually, a purchase contract has already been made for future delivery of goods fixed in price and quantity. Where the purchase commitments are significantly or unusual, disclosure is required in the accompanying notes to financial statements. Any losses which are expected to arise from firm and non-cancelable commitments shall be recognized. Purchase commitment is, nagsabi ka na bibili ka sa May 2021. Yan, nag-establish ka na nagkasundo na kayo. Pero pagdating nung May, mababa na pala yung value nung inventory na bibilhin mo. So, paano yung atake ngayon? Ayan. Wait lang. Yan. Purchase commitment. So, as an illustration, yan, importante lagi illustration kasi ito yung magiging basis natin on answering questions or problems. The contract purchase price is 500,000 and the replacement cost at year-end is 450. The market decline is 50 pesos as recorded as follows. So, yung replacement cost, ang sabi kanina is para siyang net realizable cost. So, 450. The loss on purchase commitment is classified as other expense and the estimated liability for purchase commitment is classified as current liability. When the actual purchase is made, yung cost, nag-drop pa siya ng 420. Ang journal entry ay So, una nating maiisip, nag-establish tayo na bibili tayo ng worth 500,000 na goods. Whatever happened, 500,000 yung babayaran natin. So, babawas So, ang mangyayari, pag nag-arise yung period na yon at hindi pa tayo nagbabayad, ayan, nandito, 500,000 yung ating accounts payable. Pero yung value nung item, yung replacement cost niya, yung net realizable value, is 420. So, we will measure the purchases at 420 kasi ang purchases is inventory siya ng establishment under periodic method. And then, may in-establish tayo before na loss on purchase commitment. So, ito yung loss on purchase commitment. No, yan yung in-establish natin before. Na ngayon, tatanggalin natin ito. Iko-close na natin to. Okay? Nung close natin yan, dinebit natin ang estimated liability for purchase commitment. Pero may natitira pang 30,000. Ipapasok natin yan as additional loss on purchase commitment. Kaya siya additional loss kasi may na-establish na before na 50, tapos mag-establish ka ng additional 30,000 kasi yung value na ating pagkakautang yung mismong value noon is 500,000 before. Pero 420 na lang siya. Meaning, mayroong 80,000 na total loss tayo. Yun nga lamang, nakapag-establish na tayo ng 50,000 loss nung una. So, kapag tinanong how much is the total loss on purchase commitment, the answer is 80,000. Pero kung ang tanong lang is how much is the loss on purchase commitment on the date of actual purchase, ang sagot natin 30,000 lang. Kasi meron ng 50,000 before eh. Lalo kung magkaibang taon yan. Yan. Adoption ng Lcnrv. Yung purchase commitment is connected siya sa Lcnrv. Again, yung loss mo sa inventory, hindi siya papasok as expenses mo talaga. Papasok po siya sa other expenses, losses siya, loss. Kasi yung klase nung ganyang klaseng decrease in inventory is not part of the ordinary course of business. Hindi laging nagdi-decrease ang inventory na kapag nagre-render tayo ng services or nagbebenta tayo ng goods, hindi automatically nagdi-decrease yung value ng inventory. Kaya siya part ng loss. Ngayon, since siya ay part ng loss, whatever the reversal dun sa value ng goods will form part ng gain. Kaya hindi siya part ng sales kapag nag-increase at hindi rin siya part ng expenses kapag nag-decrease. Lost siya. And disclosures. With respect to the inventory, ang financial statement shall disclose. So, makikita ito sa notes to financial statement. Yung accounting policy, how do we measure the inventory? Total carrying amount. Yan. Carrying amount of inventories if merong kang source ng fair value ng inventory. Recognized amount of inventory recognized as expense. Yung mga yan. Amount of any write-down, reversal of written write-down that are recognized as income. Circumstances or events affecting the reversal, carrying amount of the inventory pledged as security for liability. Ito yung may utang tayo, tapos pumayag yung nagpautang sa atin na kapag hindi tayo nakabayad, pwedeng ipangbayad natin yung inventory natin. Kumbaga nakasangla na yun yung kanyang gagamitin na sasabihin niya, hindi ka makabayad, ibenta mo na yung inventory mo at lower price, mga ganun senaryo. Agricultural, forest, and mineral products. Sa discussion natin nung last semester, ang inventory part ng agricultural biological assets is kapag na-detach na doon sa mother plant or doon sa animal yung non-living thing. Inventory siya. Pero, di-inventory mo yun, mangga, o kaya ay milk ng baka, inventory mo na yon. Pero kung ang iyong business is nagba-buy and sell ka ng baka, so inventory mo pa din yung baka. Iba lang siya ng category. No? Tapos, titingnan mo ngayon kung yung NRV noong iyong mga biological inventory, biological asset, biological inventory, products. Agricultural crops that have been harvested or mineral products that have been extracted are measured at net realizable value. When a sale is assured under a forward contract or government guarantee. Ang forward contract at government guarantees, pag-aaralan pa. Parang ang forward contract, kasamahan siya ng mga purchase commitment, tsaka yung option contract. Ang government guarantee, parang mga government subsidy na may kontrata na connected or involving yung agricultural produce. When homogeneous market exists and there is negligible risk of failure to sell. Okay, next. Commodities of broker traders. Ayan. Commodities of broker traders are measured at fair value less cost of disposal. The standard defines fair value of an asset as the price that would be received to sell the asset in an orderly transaction between market participants. Broker traders are those who buy and sell commodities for others or on their own account. Their inventories are principally acquired with the purpose of selling them in the near future and generating a profit from fluctuations in price or traders or broker traders margin. Ayun na pala yun. So, tatanungin lang dyan is, yan, fair value less cost of disposal. So, problems na, yung kasing sunod, chapter 13 and chapter 14 is gross profit method and retail method. So, pwede naman silang pagsabayin na i-discuss and hahanap ako siguro ng madaling discussion nito. Ang gross profit method, ang madaling sabi, naka-base ka sa percentage ng sales mo or sa percentage ng cost mo. Ngayon, yung kabila, yung retail method, naka-base yung iyong pricing or yung income mo, magkano mo siya binenta. Tapos saka mo pa titingnan magkano yung cost no ng pagkakabenta mo. So, either way, pares namang may computation. And then after nan, chapter 15 is inventory. Pero sabi hanggang chapter 11 lang daw yung topic. Pero isasama ko na to sa assignment nyo. Yun namang yung computation, yung illustration sa 13 at 14, thorough naman siya. Na dinidescribe kung paano yung paano siya na-compute, tsaka bakit dinidak, bakit inad. May pro forma, pa siya, computation. Okay.